Neighbors downstairs are playing 97 Rock. I don't have any problem with 97 Rock, but I prefer Dead Mouse. Good afternoon and welcome to Brewing. I'm your host, my name is Scott Leffler. Lots of things going on today. I used to listen to this podcast. I may have mentioned this before. I just listened to this podcast by a guy named Sean Kennedy. I don't remember the name of the podcast, but it was awesome. And throughout the whole podcast was music. He was talking about government, talking about the weather, talking about REM apparently, but throughout the whole podcast was music. And I loved it because the music was good too. I'm not going to do that to you. I'll turn the music down, although I really don't want to. Dead Mouse in the background. I'm in the foreground. My name's Scott. And we're going to talk all debate all the time today. Actually, no. But the debate will be certainly one of the main topics because last night, Darth Vader and Darth Vader fought on stage in Denver, Colorado. I'm not sure which one's Darth Vader and which one's Darth Vader, but they're both pretty much evil as far as I'm concerned, so it doesn't really matter to me. But I want to talk about some expectations. I was shocked, frankly. And we'll discuss the debate, and I want your thoughts on it. Please do me a favor and tweet me your thoughts on it. Tweet me at Scott Leffler and let me know what your thoughts are. So I want to talk about the debate. I have a lot of different angles to discuss the debate, and I could probably do an hour just on the debate, although I don't want to do that because I don't want today's show to be an hour long. Not that you don't deserve an hour of this, but you don't deserve an hour of this because that is torture, and I'm not going to do that to you. But I do want to talk about the debate kind of at length. I want to talk about a heartwarming story about a Wisconsin newswoman and this guy that wrote her an email saying that she was fat and she should be ashamed of herself. Hopefully you've already seen this. If not, when you're done with the show, make sure that you Google that, check that out because it's very interesting. But there's more to this story that I just found out this morning that really makes it like small world-ish, like just sort of weird. Speaking of the world being smaller, Facebook apparently now has 1 billion users. That's 1 in 7 inhabitants of the planet Earth, right? Yeah, so that's interesting. We're also going to talk about the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame nominees and some other pop culture stuff. But I want to start with the debate. Because to me, the debate is, I mean, this is what everybody's talking about. Why would we talk about something other than what everybody else is talking about? Because, well, what everybody else is talking about is really the right thing to talk about for a change. Because it isn't always. Usually, I find this happens a lot, and I like it, actually. I wake up in the morning, well, actually, even before I go to bed at night. Let me rephrase that. Before I go to bed in the morning, because I don't go to bed at night, I go to bed usually somewhere between 4 and 6 a.m., and then I wake up somewhere between 7 and 9 a.m., depending upon, I get maybe 4, maybe 5 hours of sleep a night. So I don't go to bed at night, I go to bed in the morning, I wake up in the morning, whatever. But before I go to bed, I peruse the internets for porn and news. Mostly porn, but I do read the news. It's a joke, I don't read news. So before I go to bed at night, I read the internet for like what's going on in the world, and then I wake up in the morning, I do the same thing. What's going on in the world? And I try to figure out what I want to talk about today. I try to figure out, all right, this is what's going to be the news of the day. So every day when I wake up between 7 and 9 in the morning, before I even get out of bed, I get my handy dandy trusty phone, and I go to this app. Let's see if you can see this. I have this app on my phone that, among other things, has news on it. And of course, there's all sorts of different ways that you can do news, but this is the Google News app on my phone. And I just sort of scroll through and I find things that interest me. And then I'll frequently tweet those things or or I'll bookmark them in some way. Oftentimes I simply email myself a link. So then in the morning when I wake up, or when I finally get out of bed, because this is something that I do well still in bed, and I text my girlfriend, hey, how are you? Good morning. Text friends of mine, what are you doing today, etc. I think everybody does this, right? I'm single, so I don't know about you. Hopefully you're not single, and hopefully you wake up every morning next to the love of your life. But I usually wake up alone, and my phone is who I wake up with. And so I wake up in the morning and I tell my phone, hello, I love you. And, sometimes we have coffee together and then we get out of bed, whatever. But, so I read the news and I think, all right, how am I going to do this? So I get out of bed, I grab some coffee, I shower or I work out. Sometimes I deliver my daughter's papers. It depends, but I slowly progress towards 12:30. And this morning was no different. I woke up and I checked the news and I wanted to see what everybody was saying. Now, everybody's still talking about the debate. But there's some time now to digest it, because immediately after the debate, everyone was talking about the debate. But since then, it's grown even more. Since then, there's been even more to it. So that was really weird. Sorry, it looked like somebody went behind me, despite the fact that there's a wall back there. And I don't know how anyone would do that, especially since I'm alone here in my apartment. Sorry, mildly freaked out there for a second. Brewing with Scott Leffler. I'm your host. My name's Scott Leffler. Drinking coffee. And I don't think that there's anything in my coffee that would make me see things or people walking behind me, but whatever. Anyway, so there was some time to really digest the debate this morning, and I did the same. Now, I watched the debate twice. I watched it live, and then when I got home from work last night, I watched it again, kind of. I fell asleep on the couch watching it the second time, and then I took my sorry keister to bed and woke up and watched some clips from it, snippets, read a lot about it. But here's my real impression of the debate. Now, everybody says, and not everybody says, everybody who's reasonable says that Mitt Romney won. There are people out there who believe that Barack Obama won the debate, and those people would have believed that Barack Obama won the debate even if Barack Obama had gotten up on stage and said, I molest collies, and then fallen over dead. They would still say that he was the debate winner. So we're going to discount those people. They don't count. But anyone who is reasonable, in my opinion, says that Mitt Romney won. Now, I think he won quite handily. Other people don't think that he did. Whatever. But here's what I noticed from the debate. Now, I said yesterday that going into the debate, Romney really needed to shine. He really needed to come across to middle-class voters. There's a difference of opinion between me and Mitt Romney as to what middle class is. I think I'm middle class. He thinks rich people are middle class. The Republicans tend to view middle class as people with, cabins in the country and, yachts. Or if not yachts, then at the very least, really nice motorboats. I tend to view middle class as people who genuinely live week to week and are really hopeful that they don't get fired, because if they do, they might not be able to pay their bills. To me, that's middle class. To Republicans, and specifically to Mitt Romney, middle class is people that make between $200,000 and $250,000 a year. Yeah, I wish I were middle class by that standard. Anyway, but money is not the solution to things. Money is the root of all evil, and it created Mitt Romney. Barack Obama's evil too, but he's not, well, he is rich. I don't know. Anyway, doesn't matter. Romney, in my opinion, Republican candidate Mitt Romney, he behaved very well. He was very cool. He was very calm. He was very collected. He was on top of things. He was assertive without being aggressive. He wasn't, if you live in New York and several years back you watched a debate between Hillary Clinton, who was then running for senator from the state of New York, and Rick Lazio, who was also running for senator from the city of New York. You saw that debate. Rick Lazio was very like, "Yo, what up?" And it was very unseemly. He came across kind of like an ass. Romney didn't do that by any stretch of the imagination, but he did expand his boundaries. Not physically. He didn't go over and physically threaten Barack Obama, although that is exactly what Rick Lazio did. But he got himself out there, and he was very assertive to the point of being aggressive without being, like, aggressive. I thought he really came across as being strong. Barack Obama was complete 180-degree contrast. He came across as being incredibly weak. He came across as being to the point of he came across as being ill-prepared, really. I mean, among other things, he looked like he forgot there was a debate, and he did no sort of training whatsoever. I don't get it, but what I do know is that about 15 minutes into the debate, I'm looking around going, dude, Romney's killing it. And actually, I tweeted just that. But, like, at first, I'm thinking, okay, Obama's easing into it, and he's going to unleash the Obama-ness, and, like, that's going to be it. There was no Obama-ness. There was... He was abominable. He was an abomination. He was just... He was bad. And Romney, on the other hand, was good. Now, there were some things that Obama did well, and there were some things that Romney did poorly. Romney was very squinty. I don't know why, but throughout the course of the debate, it seemed to me as though Romney was squinting the whole time. I don't know why. Maybe the lights were in his eyes. Maybe he didn't like to look at the black guy on the other side of the stage. I don't know. But he was very squinty throughout the course of the debate. Obama didn't have the squinty problem, but he had a smirky problem. He was very... I can't even do it. Anyway, I know I smirk when the opportunity presents itself, but apparently I can't smirk on demand. Every time they showed Mitt Romney, he was looking at the camera or looking at the president. Every time they showed Barack Obama, he was looking at the camera or he was looking down and, like, making notes. It seems like every time they showed Romney, he looked confident. He looked like he knew what was going on. And every time they showed Obama, he was going, shit, I knew I should have studied for this debate. Because that's really what I got out of it, is that Obama just was completely ill-prepared. Now, somebody made a comment about the fact that Obama's training partner was John Kerry. I don't know if that was a joke or not, but if that's true, then, dude, John Kerry, like, why would John Kerry... Horrible idea. Anyway, so 15 minutes in, I thought, Romney's killing it! And so I tweeted just that, and I put it on my Facebook as well, but the tweets are more important. We're going to talk a lot about tweets today. Show me your tweets! Tweet me at Scott Leffler. So, about 15 minutes into the debate, maybe it was a little longer than that, I tweeted, why does it seem like Romney is killing it? Hashtag debate. Got several responses. One says, Romney can promise rainbows and unicorns and a chicken in every pot, but I still don't believe him. And yes, that is something I want to talk about. Is yes, Romney looked great, but does it make you change your mind? Somebody said, because he's talking more, interrupting Lara more. Somebody said, because Romney is killing it, ... unfortunately. And somebody else said, agree, he seems to be in a stronger position tonight. Yeah, like he just, whatever Mitt Romney has been out and about in public making fun of poor people, they apparently killed that guy, and they found a guy who wants to be president, and that guy showed up at the debate tonight. Somebody mentioned interrupting Lara. Jim Lara, this is another point for me, and this was huge to me. I thought that Jim Lara did horribly, and I tweeted later in the show, later in the debate, towards the end almost actually, I think they were just about to do their wrap-ups. It said, Lara's been disappointing, no control whatsoever. Obama appeared very weak, and Romney has been very smooth. I give Romney the win. Hashtag debate. And I don't just give Romney the win. I give Romney the crushing it. I give Romney the, dude, does Barack Obama still want to be president? Because Romney was woo, and Barack Obama was, I guess I'll do the debate. I don't know. I don't get it. I don't get it. Somebody replied to that, agreed on all accounts. And a lot of people, Twitter was where it was at last night. And I love these live events for Twitter because you can really get a feel for other people, your friends, and the country as a whole. If you're not on Twitter, you've got to get yourself on Twitter because it's fun there. It's a fun place to be. It's better than Facebook because there's no Farmville, and it's shorter. It's concise. It's fun. I like it. Anyway, on Twitter, people were commenting about Jim Lara and how horrible he did. Salon.com this morning says Jim Lara's problem, their tweet at Salon, says Jim Lara's problem wasn't that he let the candidates talk too long, it's that his questions were incredibly stupid. I would 100% and completely agree with that. His questions were very open-ended, they were very, he showed up, I think him and Obama prepared together, by which I mean not at all. I think maybe they went drinking together or something, but to think that either one of them prepared for this debate just doesn't appear as though it was true. Romney, on the other hand, definitely prepared. Jim Lara showed up. He's like, you, Republican Romney guy, what do you think about things? And then he'd say, okay, Mr. President, can you respond to that? And that's all it was. We didn't really need a debate moderator. We could have just set... In fact, maybe it would have been better if we had just put Obama and Romney in a room together and been like, all right, fight! Buffalo Beast, which I think is BFLO Beast on Twitter. I don't know that. I'll find out. I retweeted them. If you go to my Twitter feed at Scott Leffler, you'll see that I retweeted them last night. They made a comment that two walk in, two walk out. It's not quite as fun as it's fighting to the death. And I don't know that I want candidates to fight to the death really, but it would sure as hell be more entertaining than the usual debates. But it looked to me as though Jim Lara came out of retirement to do this, by the way. Jim Lara's been retired for a couple of years, and he came out of retirement just to do this. And I kind of feel like I wish he had stayed in retirement. I don't know. There's a new person for the next debate, and I hope that it goes better, but I have no idea. All right. On the note of Jim Lara, Mitt Romney made a comment during the debate that he wants to cut funding for PBS, which is the news station that Jim Lara was on. Jim Lara used to be a really good newsman, by the way. Now, maybe he's just not as with it anymore. But Romney made a comment that he wants to cut funding for PBS, and he said, I like Big Bird and I like Jim Lara, but I still want to cut the funding. Now, Twitter, back to Twitter, people came to Big Bird's defense like crazy. They were like, no, Big Bird, woo, Big Bird. Everybody loves Big Bird, right? I watched Big Bird growing up. I like Big Bird. I don't know. I honestly don't know. I don't know how I feel about public broadcasting, about PBS funding. I really don't. There was a time when I definitely would have said, yes, we need PBS funding. But I'm not entirely sure what the point is now. I really don't know. That's something I would have to think about. So I don't necessarily disagree with Romney's desire to cut funding for PBS. I don't want Big Bird to die an ugly, horrible bird death, but at the same time, I don't know that I want to pay for his life support. So that's it. Look, there are other children's shows which have survived and thrived with no public funding whatsoever. I don't know why Big Bird couldn't do that. But anyway, long story short, everybody's like, woo, Big Bird. They rallied to Big Bird's defense. There's all these fun internet memes, photos, etc. Everybody came to Big Bird's defense. Nobody came to Jim Lara's defense. Nobody's like, yeah, Jim Lara! Nobody did that because he was horrible. So, I don't know. Fashion. They walked out, and Romney had the red tie, and Obama had the blue tie, and it was just trite. It was lame. The whole, did they color coordinate that? Did Barack Obama color? Yeah, I'm definitely gonna wear the blue tie. Why does, and I never noticed that Obama does the thing until, what's his name? Jason Farrow, David Farrow, The Saturday Night Live guy, when he does his impersonation of Barack Obama, he does the and I never noticed it until that, and now like I noticed it 4 million times last night. It was really annoying. So I don't know if they like color coordinate, be like, yeah, you wear the red and I'll wear the blue because I don't know. Like next debate, I kind of hope that Obama comes out wearing a pink tie or green or purple with orange polka dots, like in a pimp hat. Do something better than what you did last night, because last night, Mr. President, you were pathetic. I'm sorry, you just were. He brought out nothing. No, he didn't hit Mitt Romney at all. No commentary of the 47%. No, hey, you did this or you said this. It was he was neutered. And I thought about this. I wondered if the whole thing from Fox News from the night before where, Barack Obama's an angry black man. I wonder if that, had any effect whatsoever. They're like, Mr. President, just be cool, be calm, be collected. Doesn't matter what he does, just chill. But he never hit Romney on anything. There were things that Governor Romney said that, I had answers to, and the president didn't. The whole $716 billion on Medicare thing. Medicare. I always confuse the two. I'm sorry, but I always confuse the two. $716 billion Medicare cuts. The answer to this is simple, all right? And I don't understand why this doesn't just happen. Let me be, for a minute, the president. We found $716 billion in waste, and we're cutting that, but it will not harm any Medicare patients. And the doctors will still get paid, and the hospitals will still get paid, and actually, because of that savings, we're going to be able to do more things and lower the price of prescription drugs. Because the $716 billion that we're cutting from Medicare is not going to hurt Medicare patients at all. It's actually going to strengthen the system. I'm personally kind of confused because Republicans far and wide, led by Governor Romney here, suddenly are in favor of wasteful spending. I always thought that Republicans wanted to save money, and here's me with a plan to save $716 billion, and suddenly Republicans are in favor of wasteful spending. I'm personally very confused. Boom! Done! Pow! That's the answer. But he never said anything like that. He never said anything remotely like that. And he kept talking about this $5 trillion tax cut. This was really weird too. He was like, yeah, Mitt Romney's going to cut taxes by $5 trillion. And Mitt Romney's like, I'm not cutting taxes. I don't know what you're talking about. And there was a bizarro world, paradox universe. I didn't know what the hell was going on. What I did know is that everything Mitt Romney said, Barack Obama was like, I didn't prepare for this. It was the strangest thing. People were wondering whether Romney was going to have his zingers, and he didn't really. He said a couple things, he said the whole Big Bird thing, and that was obviously prepared. And some people thought it was cute. I thought it was okay, whatever. He had this one comment said, the president has his own house and his own plane, but he doesn't get to have his own facts. And some people thought that hit. I thought it was kind of lame. Not because in and of itself it was lame, but because it sounded so familiar to anyone who has followed politics for more than a couple years. And it sounded a lot to me like you're entitled to your own opinion, but you are not entitled to your own facts. Daniel Patrick Moynihan. Now we realize that he didn't say that yesterday, but it wasn't that long ago. Maybe 20 years? But I mean, that's one of the biggest, that's a giant step for politicians and a small leap for, that's one of those things that's out there. People say that. I don't know. So the fact that Mitt Romney tried to work that in, it was just kind of lame. It would have been like Barack Obama saying, I know Republicans, sir, and you or no Republican, except he is a Republican, except he didn't play the role of a Republican, right? He came out and he said, I want to cut taxes, and I want to make jobs, and I want middle class, and middle class, and middle class, and middle class, middle class, middle class, and middle class, and he did his thing. And it was just really confusing because Obama never came back at him. He never did his thing. It was very, very frustrating to watch. So anyway, that's me on the debate. I want to know what you think of the debate. Do me a favor and tweet me at Scott Leffler. Somebody did said we could fund 100 PBSs if they would just cut defense spending a few percent. I don't disagree with that, by the way. Defense spending, our defense spending, we spend more. Our Department of Defense. By the way, isn't it funny? Back in the day, when I was young, actually, no, not when I was young. I should do the whole show like this. I could actually just sit like this with my coffee cup, and you wouldn't know whether I was really talking or not. And I could just sit here with the video and like record words some other time. I don't know why I would do that, but I could. But I'm not gonna. I'm almost out of coffee. You guys want to go get coffee with me? Well, wait a minute. We're gonna go get coffee in a minute, though. Yes. Back in the day, back in the Dizzy, the Department of Defense was called the Department of War, except we were actually defensive back then. Now, our Department of War is called our Department of Defense, except most of the time we're on the offense. I find that kind of funny. I don't know. So, my neighbors are very loud today, I think. Either my neighbors are loud or somebody just broke in. I'm not sure which. So, somebody says that we could fund 100 PBS if they would just cut defense spending. I agree with that, by the way, and I like the idea of cutting defense spending because we spend more on our defense than every other nation combined. And like a lot more, like a lot more. And there are a lot of other things that we could fund if we would cut defense spending. Gary Johnson is my candidate. He was not invited to the debate. He was not allowed to be part of the debate. There is, however, a YouTube video of him discussing some of these issues that I posted, that I retweeted this morning on my Twitter feed at Scott Leffler. But I agree that defense spending is too high, and I agree that we could fund other things. You know, Mitt Romney made a comment last night about how much we spent on green energy. And, you know, I love green energy, but we spent 50 years worth of whatever to fund green energy, except he's talking about $90 billion. Now, $90 billion is obviously a lot of money. But compared to some other things that we spend money on, $90 billion is kind of a drop in the bucket. So, like, yeah, we spent $50 billion worth of energy stuff on green energy. Except green energy could actually make us energy dependent, or energy independent, because we're very energy dependent right now, and I'd like not to be. So, I don't know. It's just one of those things. So, what did you think about the debate? I want to hear. Tweet me at Scott Leffler. Now, look, here's the deal. Anybody who tweets me and says, I think Barack Obama won, I'm going to ignore your tweet because you're not there. If you say, I think Mitt Romney lied a lot and I don't believe anything he said, all right, I can see that point of view. In fact, I saw a thing this morning that said that Mitt Romney told 27 lies in 44 minutes or whatever, like however long it was he had to talk. He told 27 lies. I don't know whether that's true or not. I do know that some of the things he said didn't jive with things he said previously, and I wondered again why the president didn't call him on that. I wondered why the president would go, wait a minute, because just yesterday you said X. But he never, like, he just sat there and like, took it. It's like, what was the Rocky movie where Rocky just kept getting punched and like he just let the other guy punch him until the other guy got tired? And like, how stupid is that? Because that does not work. I don't think. Like, I've never like let someone punch me until they got tired, but I'm pretty sure that it would hurt me worse than it would hurt them. I don't know. So like, that was the impression that I got, though. Where was I going with this? I don't remember. But so if you want to tell me that you think that Mitt Romney lied a lot, and so your opinion of him is no better, all right, I'll buy that. If, however, you want to tell me that Romney won, how's that Kool-Aid, bro? Because I'm drinking coffee. We're going to get more coffee, by the way. I know this is weird, right? But this is a mobile show. I'm on a laptop. I can do this. So we're going to get more coffee. Somebody tweets me 88 lines about 44 women. Yeah. Shoot, who was the Catholic type? Or, I don't know. Here's me getting coffee. Da, 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 da. It went all over the floor. Not all over the floor, but I'm going to have to clean that up. Good thing cleaning kitchen floor is on my list of things to do. Actually, you want to see my list of things to do? It is right here. Can you see it? Kitchen floor is somewhere on that list. It's actually high on the list. So yeah, Romney was the Catholic type. So no, Romney's not the Catholic type. He's the Mormon type. All right, back in the living room, and I'm done talking about the debate for now. All right, you want to talk about the debate more later? You want to tweet me about the debate? I will gladly have a conversation with you about the debate. But for now I'm done with the debate because we're half an hour into the show, and I still had other things that I wanted to talk about, and we are going to talk about those other things. And we're not going to gloss over them either. We're not going to do this show quickly just because we can, because you deserve to know what I'm thinking about a variety of things. All right, so have you seen the YouTube video of this Wisconsin newswoman who got an email from a guy, and the email said, hey, you're in the public, so you should be skinny because we want kids to be skinny, and if you're fat, then kids are going to be fat, and I think that it's really horrible of you to be fat. Well, there are kids out there who should be skinny. Whatever the email said, was something along those lines. And girl just ripped him and said, you know what, you're a bully, and no one likes you, and I don't like you, and yeah, I could probably lose a couple pounds, but I'm still a good person, and you suck at life. Or there was something along those lines, whatever it was. If you haven't seen it, Google it, find it, and it was awesome. I liked it a lot. I posted a link to it on my Facebook, I think, and if we're real friends, we can do the Facebook thing. If you just kind of know me because I'm this guy that's on your computer, follow me on Twitter, much easier. So, somebody, all right, Doc, I have no idea what you mean. Don't do that over the laptop. I'm not sure what that means. Don't go for walks? Anyway. Tweet me back, let me know what you're saying. So, this woman from Wisconsin, newswoman, guy called her fat. I find out this morning that her brother is famous. Now, her husband stood up for her on the news because her husband's a newsman. She's a news girl, newswoman. I say girl. I don't mean any disrespect by that, by the way, but I refer to guys as boys and I refer to girls as girls. I don't like the word woman. It just seems weird to me. Anyway, so her husband is a news guy. She's a news girl. Her brother is Ron Livingston. Does that name mean anything to you? Does it? Somebody, I'm getting tired of local news stations using the internet for their news gathering. Yeah, that is kind of annoying, isn't it? But her brother's name is Ron Livingston. Ron Livingston is Peter Gibbons from Office Space. He was also in Dinner for Schmucks and a variety of other things, none of which I've ever seen. But to me, he's the Office Space guy. Actually, I watched Dinner for Schmucks a couple weeks ago, and I said, hey, it's the Office Space guy. It's Peter Gibbons. He told People magazine, quote, my sister Jennifer brings an exceptional dedication to her job, her family, and her community, and has been a role model of mine for many, many years. What an awesome family. So this woman needs to lose a couple pounds. Don't we all? You know what? The world is not made out of stick figures. 2, her husband completely sticks up for her, and he's like, that's my wife, and you go to hell. 3, her brother, who's famous in his own right, says, that's my sister, and you go to hell. Oh, it says don't pour coffee over the laptop. Yeah, no, I'm not going to pour coffee onto the laptop. That would be bad, because I really did spill coffee all over the phone. Or all over the floor, I should say. Do you mind walking for me to get the coffee, though? Because, like, in a perfect world, I guess I could go back to doing the show in the kitchen, but I like doing the show in here better. I don't know why. Well, for a variety of reasons. One, there's music in the background, and I know that you can't hear it right now, but it's there. The Tron soundtrack. So I turned it down to the point where you can't hear it, but I can still faintly hear it out of my ear. And it keeps me going because this is, I don't know, music is me. I'm very much into music. We'll talk about that someday. But this woman is awesome, and I love her, and I love her family. And for people that stick up for people against bullies, it's National Anti-Bullying Month, or National Beat Up Bullies Month, or National Throw Bullies Off Cliff Month. I don't know what, it's like something with bullying, national and month. Those are all in there together. I love these people, not the bullies, the anti-bullies, and thank you for being you. You bully people on Facebook now because there's 1 billion people on Facebook. 1 in 7 people on planet Earth is on Facebook. I don't even know how that's like possible, but apparently that's the truth. That's like every American times 3, right? There's 300 million Americans. Does that number sound right? Every American is on Facebook 3 times. I realize there are other people in the world, in other countries. In fact, I have Facebook friends in a variety of countries throughout the world. But 1 billion Facebook peeps, that just seems very strange to me. All right, a little bit of pop culture before we end our show today. Tweet me during the show, at Scott Leffler. Pop culture. Rock and Roll Hall of Fame nominations came out. They include, this is fun for me. Rock and Roll Hall of Fame nominations include Rush, Deep Purple, Public Enemy, and NWA. Guess which 2 of those I've seen in concert? Public Enemy and NWA. Yeah, I've never seen Rush in concert. I've never seen Deep Purple in concert, but I saw Public Enemy in concert 2 years ago in Buffalo. And now I didn't actually see NWA in concert, but I did see Ice Cube in 1992. So that's kind of funny. I'm pretty white, right? But dude, Public Enemy came to Buffalo, and I was like, woohoo, I'm there! You know the best part is, I know several people that went to that concert, and they're all the whitest people ever. Including one of my very, very dear friends is the whitest girl in the whole world, and I have this picture of her at the Public Enemy concert. It's funny. It's funny as hell. Let's bully the bullies month. Yes, that's what we will do. We will bully them on Facebook, and we will make them go to Deep Purple concerts. I don't even know a song that Deep Purple does, but they're one of the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame nominees. They're one of the new nominees. There are holdover nominees from previous years that are like waiting to get in, including oh shoot, I didn't write the holdover nominees down because they didn't impress me, which is why they're holdover nominees. But I would hope that Public Enemy would get in because they changed, in my opinion, they changed the face of music. Now, are they rock and roll band? No, not at all. And so I might be a little bit confused about that, but I'd like to see Public Enemy get into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. I went to the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame when it first opened. It's in Cleveland. I used to live in Cleveland. Well, I didn't live in Cleveland. I lived in Ashland, Ohio. Beautiful downtown Ashland, Ohio. Cleveland was an hour away. I worked in Cleveland. So we went to the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame when it first opened. I was really disappointed when it first opened. I'm told that it's much better now, but oh, Deep Purple does Smoke on the Water? Okay. There you go. Fire in the Skies. So I went to the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame when it first opened, and I really thought to myself, you know, I've seen better hard rock cafes than this. And it was expensive to get in, too. I'm told it's better now, and I hope that it is. Sticking with pop culture, I've been watching this show lately, Revolution. Have you seen the show Revolution? It's on NBC. And it's a J.J. Abrams show. J.J. Abrams has done Lost and a variety of other things. And his shows are always kind of weird. But the principle of the show is that the power goes out all the power goes out. Not like NYSEG like drops a line, but like across the world there is no power at all. No gas engines, no electricity, no nothing. Pretty much if it moves on its own in one way, shape, or form, it doesn't anymore. We go back to pre-1900. And nobody knows how to fix it. And nobody knows why it happened. Flash forward 15 years, the show takes place 15 years after the power goes out, and society is broken down, and there's gangs and militias, and people are just trying to get by, and everybody's fighting with swords because they're out of bullets, because they can't make new bullets, because blah, 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 yakety schmackety. Anyway, so 3 episodes into the show so far, and I'm not entirely sure whether I like it or not, but Monday night's episode, they bought themselves some time. They bought me at least another episode that I will definitely watch, maybe more. And here's how they did it. Now, one of the characters in the show, his name's Miles, and he's this girl Charlie's uncle, and he's kind of a badass. And they are introduced to these rebels who want to reinstitute the United States of America. Well, because of who he is, and because he's got this past, he doesn't tell them his real name. He introduced himself as Stu Redman, and he then introduces this girl Charlie as Franny. He says, "Hi, I'm Stu Redman, and this is Franny." I waited for a second because I want to know if you get that on your own or if I have to explain it. Because if you get it on your own, that's awesome. If I have to explain it, I'm a little disappointed, although, not overly disappointed, because I think a lot of people didn't get it. And this is why I'm so excited about it. It's a reference to The Stand. It's a reference to Stephen King's The Stand, which is a phenomenal book, and actually it's a pretty decent movie. Most Stephen King movies suck. The Stand, the first 3 episodes of The Stand are awesome. The last episode, it was a 4-episode deal. The last episode kind of sucks. It does the typical Stephen King thing. Starts really good and falls off a cliff at the end. But it's one of my favorites. I love The Stand. So the fact that there's this Stand reference in this show that I'm wavering on tells me that, like, all right, I like The Stand, they like The Stand, why don't I hang out another episode and see how that works? So they've sucked me in for at least one more episode. I love when things that I like other things that I like. We want our opinions to be validated. We talked about this yesterday. We want to be told that what we believe to be true is the truth. We want to be with someone who likes the things that we like. We're talking about my music here. Maybe you like my music. Maybe you don't. I don't know. But my girlfriend likes my music. Which means a lot to me. It buys her bonus points, whether she knows it or not. I want to be with someone who likes the same music I like. I want to be with somebody who likes the same stuff I like. The movie 500 Days of Summer, the little sister, Joseph Gordon-Levitt's little sister, says, just because somebody likes the same stupid shit you do doesn't mean that you're soulmates. Yes, that's true, but isn't it awesome if you can be with somebody who likes the same stupid shit you do? So, if there's a TV show that likes the same stuff that I like, then maybe that TV show is cooler than I'm giving it credit for. And so, long story short, is that I am going to continue to watch Revolution for at least another episode to see where it goes. To see if there are more references to things that I like, just because I want to be in the company of cool things. Sarah Connor Chronicles, a few years ago, was a show on Fox, I think, right? Sarah Connor, of course, is John Connor's mother. John Connor, Terminator. If you didn't see the Sarah Connor Chronicles, I loved it. But throughout the show, there was this Wizard of Oz theme, this Frank Baum theme, that, in fact, at one point, they referred to themselves as the Baum family, John Baum. And I thought it was really cool to weave these pop culture things into a pop culture thing. I like things with odd references. So, I don't know. If something references Twin Peaks, it will be my favorite thing ever. I don't know why, and this is how we're going to end the show, actually. I don't know why, but as the temperature cools off, as we get into October, today is October 4th. I should have said that at the beginning of the show. As we get to into October and the temperature cools, I really want to watch Twin Peaks. So I don't know what the reasoning is, but I suddenly want to. I want to throw Twin Peaks, and I have Twin Peaks all on DVD. I want to put it in the DVD player. I want to brew a pot of coffee, and I want to stack donuts, and I just want to watch Twin Peaks, and maybe shut myself off from the world. Next week, I have 5 days off in a row. Maybe that's what I will do. I will lock myself in my apartment and do nothing but watch Twin Peaks. So, there you go. I agree. Somebody says on Revolution you have to suspend all belief in the laws of physics to get into it. You kind of do. Things don't make... there's no reason that certain things wouldn't still work just because the power shut off. And, I don't understand how the power could shut off. And they have, this special, keychain, their necklace thing that makes the power turn on. And it's just, yes, you do have to suspend all belief in the laws of physics to get into it. But it is an interesting concept. So we're going to watch that. I'm going to watch that. If you'd like to watch it with me, you're welcome to. And we can tweet during it, because you can tweet me at Scott Leffler. All right, look, today's show is 46 minutes in, which is longer than I mean for most shows to go. Although over time, the plan is that the show will expand. And hopefully over time, more and more people will continue to watch it. So do me a favor. Tell your friends about the show. And in the meantime, I'm going to head out. We should end with some music, right? What do we got? We got, Daft Punk. Daft Punk is playing at my house. My house. You've been watching Brewing. I'm your host. My name's Scott Leffler. I will see you tomorrow. I'll be back here tomorrow. It's Friday. Tomorrow's Friday. We can have beer. Yay, beer on Friday.